You're working on a deadline or maybe finalizing a family photo album, and the screen just goes dark. Panic sets in immediately. A dead hard drive or a shattered screen halts a small business, ruins a carefully planned gift, or erases years of personal history. And when you can't fix it yourself, you have to hand over your entire digital life, your passwords, your finances, your private messages, to a complete stranger behind a repair desk. You feel incredibly vulnerable. The physical hardware failure is only half the crisis. The other half is the sheer anxiety of navigating an unpredictable and murky repair process. Most consumers immediately look for a lifeline, and they get funneled straight into massive, volume-driven repair chains or outsourced call centers. These places operate on a strict, profitable playbook. They hit you with dense technical acronyms you don't understand, pushing expensive software subscriptions or unneeded upgrades instead of actually looking at the faulty hardware. This diagram illustrates that typical customer journey. You get trapped in an endless loop of automated phone menus and quick-fix patches that inevitably fail weeks later because the root issue was never touched. When an entire industry operates this way, nobody trusts the repair process. Finding someone who will look you in the eye, give you a blunt assessment, and actually fix the machine locally becomes a rare necessity. Here on the streets of Gloucester, you'll find the exact opposite of that corporate maze. It's an independent workshop called Your Geek Friend, run by Sean Darch. Real technical intuition takes time to build. You cannot learn how a motherboard behaves from a weekend certification course. You have to spend thousands of hours physically tracing faults on a test bench. Sean has been dismantling and rebuilding systems for over 25 years. His hands-on experience goes all the way back to the launch of early operating systems like Windows 95. Back then, computers were unforgiving. Troubleshooting manual IRQ conflicts, which are hardware interrupt requests where different components fight for the processor's attention, forced technicians to learn exactly how a machine thinks at a mechanical level. Having that deep historical context means Sean can look past today's heavily layered, bloated software to immediately spot a failing internal component that a younger technician might entirely miss. His approach boils down to one strict rule: minimum faff. He refuses to play what the industry calls part starts, the expensive habit of blindly swapping out random components until the machine finally turns on. This diagram outlines his logic. The priority is finding the fastest route to a correct diagnosis, then the lowest cost solution. But finding a fix doesn't always mean applying it. If a laptop hinge repair's durability is questionable, Sean advises keeping your money. When a machine is worth saving, the intervention goes deep. This readout shows a scan of a damaged hard drive, indicating bad sectors that have been successfully recovered. He bypasses the superficial software patches to salvage the core physical data. True technical mastery means knowing exactly when to step away from the workbench. Protecting the person's wallet is treated with the same importance as repairing their motherboard. The real-world impact of this mindset is highly visible in his shop. One afternoon, a panicked father walked in holding a custom gaming PC he bought online. It was his son's 11th birthday. The computer arrived completely broken, and school was letting out in a few hours. Normally, standard procedure dictated a booking delay. Instead, Sean stopped his current work, completely stripped down the faulty system, diagnosed the issue, and rebuilt it from the ground up, all within a strict 2-hour window. A few weeks later, an Australian tourist found themselves stranded in the UK. Their laptop power supply had died, entirely cutting them off from their travel documents and itinerary. Sean quickly tested the system and confirmed he lacked the part, so he went online, located the exact charger nearby, and printed out physical directions so they could get it immediately. In both of these specific cases, the hands-on technical intervention successfully resolved the mechanical failure and the immediate human crisis simultaneously. There is a distinct physical weight to the moment a functioning machine is returned. Watching a repaired laptop sliding across the wooden counter is the culmination of the entire process. You can literally watch the tension leave the customer's shoulders. The anxiety of losing their data and their lifeline evaporates, replaced instantly by immense relief and a restored sense of control. Delivering that exact feeling consistently through low-nonsense service and blunt honesty does something incredibly valuable. It builds a deeply rooted community network, generating word-of-mouth loyalty that no amount of corporate marketing spend can buy. The devices we rely on every day are inherently fragile and eventually become obsolete. But the trust you build when you genuinely help someone out of a crisis lasts indefinitely.